I know we're saying it here, but I really do want to emphasize here that this is where the story comes from. I'm sorry, comes from the imagination of a drunken idiot. But this is where the story starts to actually gain traction and get people's attention, is from Black Belt Magazine. I'm going to guess, and I have not spoken to my guests about this yet, but I'm going to guess, Andy, Corndiff, you're probably, as kids of the 80s and 90s, you probably saw Black Belt Magazine. If you didn't read it, you knew the covers of it. Is that right? Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Yeah. It was very popular. I'm going to guess everyone in our chat is probably somewhere around our similar age, but just in case you're not, it was, man, what would you call that?
Life-changing.
It was a movement, Black Belt Magazine. It had so much packed into it for little boys and for martial arts fetishists, if you want to call it that. People who just loved martial arts. For the ninja craze of the 80s, it was perfect. We're going to learn more about Black Belt Magazine.
Luigi, you said you took martial arts as a child. Corndiff, were you a Taekwondo master? You said it was life-changing.
No, I had a few friends that went to karate class once or twice, and talking about it's all I did.
Did they show off for you?
Probably, and then I probably made up some shit that I thought looked real too.
But Black Belt was it had articles on people who said that, you know, they studied martial arts their whole lives. There were definitely supernatural aspects of some of the things they talked about, but they also had this great comic book styled, like old comic book styled order forms and pages where you could order weapons and ninja stars and anything that you saw in a movie associated with Eastern culture. Yeah. Chopstick. You could order like chopstick, like just the craziest shit. But it really was I really can't think of a better word. Movement might just be the only word I come up with. Yeah. It's Friday. My brain's slow today.
And that's the thing we should also reset, is that it was a lot easier for Frank Dux to get away with being a bullshit artist at this time, because there was no internet. And you talk about Black Belt Magazine or comic books, where when people wanted to express an opinion or react to something that they read in the magazine, you would have to wait a whole month or longer for them to decide to publish your letter or see what other people thought about it. So it's almost like by the time that counter opinion is published, you forgot what they were even bitching about. So
Andy, you get it. Andy gets it. But
that's why I'm on the show.
Exactly. Exactly. But that's exactly it. It was an odd time to be alive if you're going to be a bullshitter. Today, people look up everything you have to say. There was a time when we didn't have phones that answered every question that we had. And people made ridiculous claims. And Black Belt Magazine was essentially the vehicle for bullshit claims. They promoted and just, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Promoted and perpetuated so much bullshit. Hey, here we go. Oh, by the way, first off, before I get to that, I saw this. Yes, you could buy grappling hooks from Black Belt Magazine. Yes, you totally could. And Hamhead with another $5. Holy sheet. I just looked at my karate trophy in 1990. I, Hamhead, kumita'd in a kumite. Please send me a picture of your trophy. Let me see what we can do with that. Maybe we'll have some fun with that. That's awesome. Thank you, Hamhead, for the $5.
Proud of you, by the way.
Yeah, yes. Congratulations.
Nice tattoo. Is he the one?
That is, yes, Hamhead with the first Skeptical Robot tattoo. I I'm speechless about it. Like, I wanted to show it to like family, and then my family was like, "What the fuck is this?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I host a show." Yes, man, I'm just so flattered by that. Even Mrs. Greenberg was like, "He got a tattoo?" Yes. Awesome, Hamhead. Hamhead has just been very supportive. Thank you, Hamhead.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna get a mini chainsaw tattoo, and then we can do a predator handshake.
I like it.
Yeah,
I'll just be me. Kind of a deal. Now, here is our segment on Black Belt Magazine. And I didn't ask. I'm sorry. You guys can hear this okay, right? Right?
yes.
Okay, good. It's contribution to Bullshido. Oh, and we talked about Bullshido last week. Also, it is the slang term for ineffective, stupid martial arts.
Is the world's longest-running martial arts magazine. The first issue, Karate, chopped its way onto shelves in 1961, and for almost 3 decades until the advent of UFC 1, it was a lost city of refuge for mail-order assassins who routinely nunchucked their own testicles. It's 50% National Geographic, 50% National Enquirer, and its target demographic appears to be middle-aged mall ninjas who are struggling to accept that magic isn't real. Black Belt is also possibly the greatest repository of knowledge on that most deadly of all martial techniques, what some call the poison finger, vibrating palm strike, or to give it its street name, the dim mak.
Now, that was the dim mak was our introduction into this short series that we're going to be doing on Bullshido. It started with Count Dante bringing the secrets of the dim mak to the United States and teaching them, and writing a book that made him a millionaire on how to do the dim mak. But like every other grift in the world, what you got to do is you got to rope them in, and then you got to overcomplicate it so that when they try to actually demonstrate it themselves, you tell them, "Oh no, you did it wrong." So what he did was he made graphs and charts to say that you can't just poke them in the same spot every minute of the day, because it's based on chi, and chi moves throughout the day, and depending on the time of day, you have to hit the chi in the right spot. And occasionally, where might that spot be, Trucker Andy?
The booty hole.
It was occasionally in the asshole.
Wow.
So that was the introduction here, was that
Hit like.
yes, head like please. That was the introduction, was Count Dante, and we talked about his turbulent life, his unbelievable life, in which he had the Anchorman brawl, tried to blow up a rival dojo with dynamite, was a pornographer and a hairdresser, and died of a cocaine overdose at 36. And Mr. Dukes here decides to take up the mantle, and he's like, no, I think I can do this. And that is kind of what starts this story and unifies the 4 people that we're going to be covering. Now, of those 4 people, we've covered Count Dante. This is Frank Dux. The next one we're going to be covering is a guy named George Dillman. Now, guess what? You're looking at Mr. Dillman right now, breaking that ice in this in this issue of Black Belt Magazine. That is George Dillman right there. He's going to be the next guy we cover.
A name like that, you'd have to learn martial arts.
George Dillman is pure comedy gold. Like, there's nothing serious about his story at all. It is comedy fucking gold. It is pure comedy. That's going to be a fun one. You're welcome for that one too, Andy.
I'm getting these those influencers in my feed now. These people that are showing you how to defend yourself against weird attack, being strangled from the back seat or something like that. And this one guy had somebody attacking him. His whole attack strategy was just kicking people in the shins like a little girl. I don't know if anybody's seen this guy's technique, but he's just basically kicking you in the knee.
I saw one, maybe we'll play some clips of it, of a guy who has who has conditioned his ass. Like he has people punching him in the ass to like make it harder and more calloused so that he can use it as a weapon, as a way of like shifting someone off balance. It is very weird.
Oh my god. Maybe he's trying to defend from the dreaded dim knock, where his booty hole is getting attacked by a dim cock.
Oh, gummy? Dim cock, you heard it. But George Dillman is the guy who, man, it's funny now that I'm thinking about it. Maybe not everyone knows. It is very viral, in which he does the no-touch knockouts, where he can knock you out by using chi. Yeah,
we talked about this a little bit last time.
Yes,
this guy, this shit's ridiculous.
It's insane. Now, I'm saving the best for last, though. There's a guy named Ashita Kim who, what this guy has done with his life will actually make Frank Dux seem like like a poser. It's just magnificent lies. Okay, Stachunksta, thank you very much for the 10 gifted Luigi Greenberg memberships. Thank you. I couldn't pronounce my own name there for a second. Thank you so much. We got Mark Abatista, Coach Jace. I don't know how to pronounce it. Jason, your refractory period? JDT, Jackie, Skunkman, Ozone, Chris Allen, Joseph Collins, Sofonda Cox.
Lovely lady.
This is my audience. I love them. Thank you so much. Hey, Latin vaginas in the chat. Someone say pornographer? That is Latanya Vegas. Andy, one time, Korn said that he could not see the name without thinking it said Latin vaginas, and I have just not stopped calling her that. Thank you so much, Stachunksta. I'm a little behind here. Ooh, I use my ass as a weapon. Hey, we have that in common, Latin vaginas. All right. But yeah.
Mine's more of a bio weapon.
Yeah, I do a lot of farting. All right, so let's keep going here.
As recently as the early 2000s, Black Belt was still running.
Okay, missing in action. Is Kim the really, really old guy who's still doing it in China? No. Ashita Kim is actually a guy named Radford Brown out of Florida. Changed his name to a more Asian sounding name in order to sell ninja training VHS tapes. and magic tricks. It's gonna have to be it's gonna have to be a drinking show. It's gonna be fun.
Advertisements for dim Mac instructional tapes. In fact, in an issue that has none other than Tito Ortiz on the cover, you could still find people trying to sell you the deadly secrets of the dim Mac in the back pages, although somewhat surprising.
So what that's saying is, they kept up this ruse of promoting bullshit for a long time. Saying Tito Ortiz was on the cover. That might have been 20 years ago. You know, not that long ago. They were still promoting this nonsense. Here you go.
Surprisingly, even with 5 decades worth of articles on the science behind the dim Mac, the best answer Black Belt can come up with for whether it is or isn't real is...
Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. Stachunksta. Okay, so we kind of have this deal with, oh god, man, I am so off my fucking game. So off my game. Okay, so I owe, let's see. I owe Hamhead. And I knew it was coming. Hamhead and, let's see, Dang Lizard. One of the super chat bumpers. You tell me if you want the WWE or if you want Corn Fairy. Tell me in the chat. Now, Stachungsta, I can give you your option if you would like one of the WWE bumpers or Corn Fairy or Racist Bjork.
Oh. That's new.
It's a character I've been doing on Hackride's channel. With Bjork saying very racist things, and it seems to be a crowd favorite, except for Stachungsta. Oh, Stachungsta wants racist Bjork. Okay. Let me think of the right thing to say. Let's see. All right, hold on. It wasn't 6 million. All right. There you go, Stachungsta.
You asked for it, Stachungsta.
Yes. Oh, what the hell?
Hey guys, y'all got to quit this shit. If you keep this up, we're not going to be able to go on here.
Stachungsta. Okay. Well, hold on. Now you just gave 10 more, so I'm going to give you. Let's see here.
You can pick again.
And I'm not going to make him. I'll give him another one, but I'm going to pick form this time. Let's see.
Listen, I'm aware that the wrestling things are amazing.
Yeah,
I don't
all right.
know what Fairy Corn is. So
Oh,
I have,
okay.
I have to vote for that.
Here we go. All right, you got it. There you go.
Angelic.
Man, thank you, Stachungsta. Thank you very, very much. Let's see. Easy 123, Jordan Jackson's House of Horrors, Kyle Riley, Remaining Unknown, Window Licker, Chairman Meow. Stachungsta. Now I'm leaving. You rock, Stachungsta. Thank you so much for yes, Delta. Racist behavior. All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yes. I really don't even know how it evolved, honestly. We were talking about Bjork, and then someone started talking about racism, and I combined the two and just started saying racist things as Bjork, like white power. Or, I forget what the other one was that I said.
Did you make merchandise for this new character?
I should, but apparently
AI art on X already.
Yeah. Apparently the audience loved it. I'm not gonna say loved it. It's totally stupid and ridiculous. Sorry to no. We're all about derailing, Stachungsta. It's a show about derailing. Thank you very much. All right. Let's see here. Yes, racist Bjork is totally dumb and ridiculous, but it is just fun to occasionally just say, drunk black guy lies. Oh yeah, I need to play that one. I need to show that gummy chainsaw eventually. All right, here we go. Back to the show.
Maybe? And when it comes to ninjas, Black Belt was like the Typhoid Mary of the 1980s ninja craze. A super spreader for the word of ninja infiltration techniques, ninja climbing techniques, ninja invisibility, ninja children. Basically, if you can think of a thing.
Do you see that? The training of ninja children.
Start them
Black
young.
Belt
What's that?
Start them young. Yeah.
Hey, yeah. They could be little minions.
added the word ninja to it and wrote a 5-page article about it. Black Belt essentially existed off the fumes of Bruce Lee and the ninja craze right up until the mid-90s, when they were grudgingly forced to accept that, without so much as a spin kick or vibrating palm strike, jiu-jitsu had beaten almost every other martial art in legitimate, verified competition. The absolute refusal to accept the reality of the situation was emblematic of a publication that had spent 3 decades wondering why the police aren't armed with nunchucks and throwing stars. But it's somewhat surprising, given that they had been reporting on judo and even sambo tournaments since the 60s, yet they were left in a state of catatonic shock at the efficacy of grappling in real fights. You can practically taste the resentment as the 90s rolled on, and Black Belt published article after article positing the question of what would be the martial art to defeat what they called the Gracie tackle. Like an old soldier hiding in the hills of Iwo Jima, unaware that the war had ended decades ago, Black Belt clung to fantasy-based martial arts for as long as possible, even...
So, I like the way that our narrator here describes that fantasy-based martial arts. That's a great way of saying it. It really appealed to the imaginations of people as opposed to the practical application of these things, which is what they were created for. Now, once again, here in the picture, George Dillman.
And old
it's
George
interesting.
Dillman gave his
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say that I feel like the mid-90s was also when UFC was kind of on the rise, right? So
Yes, and we're right on the cusp of talking about that, in that to some extent Frank Dux got outed even before the real age of the internet because of of the UFC. Yeah, to some extent, we'll talk a little bit about it, in that he was essentially describing what was the UFC, and then it turned out that when we saw fighting as it's done in the real world, it didn't conform to the parameters that Frank Dux had laid out. Saying that there was a sumo wrestler fighting a Muay Thai fighter from Thailand, and that they stayed on their feet the whole time, and we realized, well, that's just not the way fighting really works.
Right.
Anyway,
hasn't it been established that a lot of the foundation Olympic wrestling is one of the baseline knowledge of martial arts and submission, right? That's jiu-jitsu. It's all about choking people out or getting their limbs in a position where you have to submit, and it's gone from like the interesting part being how you get the person onto the ground, right? Is what it used to be.
And that's exactly what he's saying right here, is that as the evolution of fighting started to realize, oh wait, there are very, very effective ways to do this. Well, now let's talk about how to battle the effective ways. Specifically the UFC. I'm curious, Corn, did you hear that noise?
I did. I was just looking at all my equipment thinking I was one.
I think it might have been Andy. Andy, something kind of just odd happened for a little, maybe like 2 or 3 seconds of you talking. I'm not sure what it was. It was like you got drowned out by static, but then you came back.
Yeah, it was almost like you had the phone held to your chin while you were talking.
It was a little weird. Anyway, just kind of.
I'm good now.
I'm also shaving my balls over here.
Oh, okay.
That makes sense.
Well, hey, me too.
You a Norelco guy?
Let's see. Oh, hey, Racist Bjork in the chat. Hi, this is Racist Bjork, and unfortunately yesterday on the wrap-up show, I made a few comments that sounded racist and offensive. What I meant to say is that white women... Okay, hopefully everybody gets that joke. Thank you, Racist Bjork, for the $5. Trucker Andy, were you a Howard Stern fan?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so you get that joke, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Does Hackride have the super tip system? Can we get Racist Bjork?
He does not. He doesn't. He doesn't have super tip system. I don't want to wear out Racist Bjork's welcome. Yet. Corndiff was not a follower of Howard Stern. I was a loyal Howard Stern fan for 25 years. But basically, there was a guy on the show, Corndiff, who was a genius when it came to making phony phone calls. He was very, very funny. His name was Sal Governale, and he was also very racist, but didn't realize how racist he was.
Oh.
And he made an incredibly racist statement on a show, and could not understand why everyone was telling him it was racist. So they played a prank on him by actually getting someone to call him to say that they were part of the HR for the office and that he needed to issue an apology. And the apology just goes off the rails in a hilarious way in that he still just doesn't get it. And in his apology, he says, "What I meant to say was that white women typically don't like to date black men." And it just somehow snowballs comedy. And it is one of the funniest moments of the show.
And it's crazy that I haven't thought to even cover that. I mean, that's going to be one of my next episodes now. Why am I not covering
Oh my God, I can't believe that.
Sorry.
I gotta cover that.
That is a great topic. Oh, Andy, please.
I'll have you on.
Yes.
You guys are going to be on for that one.
I would love to be on for that one.
All right.
Yes. Oh, that's a great one. Oh, look at this. Look, we're putting our heads together here. Thank you, Racist Bjork. Okay. Back to Black Belt Magazine.
Opinion on how best to defeat this smothering menace. And unsurprisingly, his answer was to pressure point KO someone as soon as they tried a takedown.
There you go. That's
But
what it
by the
was.
early
Did you see
2000s,
that?
Black Belt finally embraced MMA as a martial art of its own, and were routinely featuring MMA stars like Tito Ortiz or Victor Belfort on the cover, and doing scandalously sexy photo shoots with Joe Rogan.
I'm captured by your love and your pretty smile. Your devastating beauty and your sweet profile. I love you.
But the absolute best part of Black Belt are the advertisements. Do you
Yes, here we
urgently
go.
need to kill someone at your office with a roundhouse kick, but you're worried your slacks might not accommodate that level of violence? Then you need the Chuck Norris action pants. For when you...
Those are real, folks. That was a real product. The Chuck Norris action jeans.
I'm trying to find something like online.
Was that a real thing with Joe Rogan in there?
Oh, I don't know about that one.
Probably.
Probably, yeah.
Well, yeah, they need to re-establish. It's like 50% ninjas, 40% magic, and 10%.
Super gay.
I need that drop. I like that. Yes, the Chuck Norris action jeans. I'm wearing them now. You just can't see it. But just in case I have to roundhouse somebody, you never know.
Jesus.
kick someone in the
Hold up. A pair of their... he's got a pair of pants, 2632 martial arts, 1980s, $202 on eBay for some Chuck Norris pants.
Oh, I didn't even think about inflation. What was $24.99 in 1982? Like, that was probably at least double what it is today.
Yeah, probably.
Were these $200 pants worn by Chuck Norris?
No.
Okay. No sale.
At least signed by him.
face
They don't smell
and
like his
comply
balls. I'm not interested.
with a business casual dress code. How about Chemo Leopoldo's Fierce Fighting on VHS, which threatens to teach you attacks so painful there is virtually no attacker you cannot defeat. Maybe you want to look like you're wearing a DLC outfit for Tekken when you train, or whatever the fuck this Halloween turnip-looking monstrosity is. How about some cool patches to show your love for karate, or judo, or fuck.
Yeah.
It is an effective throwing star design.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. And right next to it, OBS, for those who understand. It just says, before you reach your keyboard to be all like, actually, that's a Hindu swastika, not a Nazi swastika. Ask yourself, would you wear that patch on your gi today?
Black Belt is a window into a world of martial arts that is so far removed from the one we live in currently that it's like peering into an alternate reality. It's a glimpse into an era where people really seriously wondered if Bruce Lee had been killed by a dim Mac. And
Okay, this is awesome. Gummy chainsaw. They had those in Sears by me with a life-size Chuck Norris cardboard cutout next to the rack. If any of those cardboard cutouts have survived, I would pay money for that. That's awesome.
Genuinely believed ninjas were the end boss of fighting. It's no wonder a man like Dante was able to captivate both writers and readers with his tales of death matches and dim mak.
Whatever that guy's doing, it's working.